In a moment, the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan, AO, accompanied by the academic procession, will enter the graduation hall. When the procession has arrived on stage, Advance Australia Fair will be performed, and you are invited to join in the singing of our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the academic procession.
Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Chris Tobin, representative of the Darug people, to offer the traditional welcome to country.
Thank you. Warami everyone, and Nalawa. Hello and welcome to the lands of the Wallamedigal. I belong to one of the local Aboriginal families of the Darug people, the traditional custodians over this part of the country. I wish to firstly pay my respects to the country and its people, and to thank the university for their acknowledgement of us and the invitation to welcome you this afternoon. That acknowledgement is important for our people and much appreciated. My family actually descend from Yarramundi, a respected elder and cleverman of the Burrabrongal clan during the early years of colonisation. He saw that our survival in this new world could best be secured if we could learn more about it And so he enrolled his daughter, Bulgari, or Maria, into the Native Institute, a school set up in 1815 by Governor Macquarie, offering formal education to Aboriginal children. Maria studied there for several years and used her newly acquired skills to lobby and ultimately secure some land for herself and her family out along the Richmond Road. Other Aboriginal families soon joined them, and it became known as the Blackstown, where the present-day city of Blacktown gets its name. We are very proud of her, as I'm sure your families are of you here today. And with good reason. Your success is our success. Your advancement, our advancement. Now, that was probably better understood in traditional times when camp groups were smaller and clans abided by the strict sharing laws, which meant that the food that you caught and brought back was distributed throughout the rest of the camp. Your skills and good fortune were thus enjoyed by all. Your efforts literally nourished the rest of the community, and you in turn were looked after by them. Yes, we can live quite beautifully when we work together. Our Aboriginal ancestors certainly lived well in many respects, and I use occasions like this to offer them to yourselves as a model or a benchmark on how good to expect our lives. You see, when Captain Cook arrived here a little over 200 years ago, he encountered a people whom he described as one of the happiest people he had ever met. They owned nothing but the tools they carried. Their shelters were made from the bark of trees without cutting them down, and they harvested food from the earth without excessive tilling or clearing. Now, these were not primitive societies, these were ancient cultures. There was no slavery, no rich and poor, no rents or mortgages, no jails, and no homelessness. People cooperated to collect the resources which were needed, and then they were shared out according to strict Aboriginal law. Our lands were maintained in their natural state with fire and responsible harvesting. Our rivers and waterways kept clean and unpolluted, with people drinking out of them as they have done here for the past 20,000 years. So remember, this is not an ideal or a dream. This was normal life, and for the longest time for us. And there is no reason why we should expect less for ourselves and our children than what our ancestors enjoyed. Admittedly, there's a lot more of us, but we're a clever people, and there is still much magic in the world. So graduates, I would say expect great and wonderful things from your life. Life is normally good, and we are naturally a happy people. I would suggest sharing your skills with the rest of us, though, and keep following that beautiful spirit that got you this far. Do that, and I'm confident that we can again create a country and a world we can be proud of, and a future that is worthy of our children. We can all do our bit. I'll do mine now by winding up and letting you graduate. I just want to say congratulations to all of you, and all the best in our collective futures. Thank you, and welcome to country.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce the Chancellor of Macquarie University, the Honourable Michael Egan, AO.
Thank you, Chris Tobin, for your welcome to country. Well, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, first I want to thank all of you for coming. A graduation ceremony is a very important celebration of achievement. The achievements, of course, of our graduands, but also of the university. So it's very good that you're here, and I'm very grateful that you are. I also want to especially thank those of you who have brought children with you. It's good for them that they're here, because their memories of today and of the importance of today may one day be the thing but inspires them to emulate the successes of today's graduands. And their presence is also good for us, because every celebration is enhanced by the presence of children. Now, unless children have changed enormously since I was a child, few of them will be able to stay quiet, particularly the little ones, or still for the duration of the ceremony. I don't expect them to, I don't want them to, and I don't want parents to worry if they don't. They are most welcome, and please let them run around and make as much commotion as they like. And I always notice that the parents with tiny cots sit at the back of the room or stand at the back of the room so that they can make a hasty retreat whenever they make a noise. Now, you don't have to go outside. We're quite capable of putting up with the noise that little children and babies can make. There's one little baby up there that's just freshly hatched, 1 month old. And we like babies, and we especially like babies that cry, because we learned a long time ago that if a baby cries during a graduation ceremony, they're back within 25 years to take out their first PhD. So it's something to be encouraged, not discouraged. Now, the most important thing, of course, today is that our graduands have a great day. And I'm sure most of you will, but you will only enjoy the day if you relax. Most of you look relaxed, but a couple of you look so nervous that you think you're about to go into the examination room rather than collect your degree. Absolutely nothing can go wrong. Well, that's not quite true. Some people come up here and fall over, but that's why all these people here, they're here to pick you up and send you on your way. That's what they get paid for. So don't worry at all. Just make sure you enjoy the day. Now, you deserve to take pride, great pride in your graduation, because completing a degree is never easy. You need an intelligent and inquiring mind, you need determination and perseverance, and you need to make many sacrifices. So welcome and congratulations to each and every one of you. I also want to congratulate all of you who are here today as the guests of our graduands. Because if you think about it for just a moment, the very fact that you've been invited by one of our graduands to share one of the great days of their lives is proof positive that you've been very important in those lives and in the successes that we celebrate today. And I don't want you to think either that observing today's ceremony is the end of your role, because I have another very important service for you to perform for our newest graduates, as they will soon become. I want you to make sure that the degrees they receive today are never ever put in a bottom drawer, but are always proudly displayed in a position of prominence. In other words, if our graduands are too self-effacing to proclaim their own success, you make sure that you do it for them. Now, the ceremony that we're about to participate in is one of the world's oldest social rituals. For centuries, graduates have been donning robes just like the ones our graduands are wearing today, and participating in ceremonies just like this one. Indeed, there are some 50 universities in the world which can trace their history back more than 500 years. Now, obviously, Macquarie University is not one of them. We're a very young university. We celebrated our 50th anniversary just 4 years ago. We proudly take our name from Australia's greatest colonial governor, Governor Lachlan Macquarie, a man whose greatness and achievements were never acknowledged by his contemporaries, but only by history. Those of us who went to school in New South Wales were taught that Macquarie was a great builder, and indeed he was. But his greatest legacy had nothing to do with bricks and mortar. His greatest legacy was the ethos he established, much to the annoyance of the British authorities at the time, of an egalitarian society. Because it was Macquarie's insistence that in this fledgling convict colony there be no distinction between the free and the freed that was the foundation of the Australian notion of a fair go for all. And that is the legacy that here at Macquarie we will always aim to maintain and honour. After our first 54 years, we now have more than 184,000 Macquarie graduates living in 142 countries. Macquarie is a very modern and outward-looking university. We're now ranked in the top 2% of the world's universities. From our beginnings, we have defied the traditional boundaries of academia. We have pioneered and continue to pioneer learning and teaching approaches that challenge conventions and shift thinking. Our students play a major role in their own learning and are empowered to guide what and how they learn. We're also research pioneers. Our framework for the future world-leading research with world-changing impact is brought to life by renowned researchers whose bold and innovative solutions to issues of global significance are of enormous benefit to the world we live in. Now, by the way, that's not an idle boast. I'm sure most of you at some time make use of Wi-Fi. Now, it may surprise you to learn that Wi-Fi was not developed at Harvard or Cambridge or Oxford or Sydney University or the Australian National University. No, Wi-Fi was developed by Macquarie University scientists in conjunction with scientists from the CSIRO. And that's something that I think we're justifiably very proud of. And the research that is currently underway at Macquarie is no less significant. I'm sure all of you will be aware of the very recent death of Professor Stephen Hawking, a brilliant scientist and a marvellous and inspiring man. The disease he fought almost all his life was motor neurone disease, and I'm very proud to say that our Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences is at the forefront. In fact, I think it's fair to say we are the Australian leader in helping to find a cure for that dreadful disease. We're also, I'm told, have researchers here working on an innovation that will prevent shark attacks on surfers, which I'm sure will be good news to all the young people who ride their surfboards around the Australian coast. In fact, we have countless research projects underway, all of which have enormous potential to add to the world's knowledge and well-being. We're also proud of some of our new or relatively new facilities, including our Australian Hearing Hub, our library and our hospital. We are the only university in Australia which owns and operates its own hospital. But we have a lot more to do to make sure that all of our facilities are fit for purpose. And that's why when you arrived today, you may have thought for a moment that you were visiting a war zone. That big hole in the ground outside, just behind us, is the site of our new central courtyard, which will house new food and beverage facilities, other social and study areas, as well as on-campus student accommodation. Just a little further away, our arts faculty building, one of our oldest, has been completely gutted and will be replaced by a new arts precinct, which will also include new spaces for our superb museums and galleries. So we're looking forward and we're on the move. Here at Macquarie, we have a very clear and straightforward mission. And that mission is to transform people's lives and to improve the lives not just of our own students, but also of people all around the globe, by the work and achievements of our graduates and by the fruit of our research. We want Macquarie always to be a leader in teaching and learning and a leader in the accumulation of knowledge and understanding. In other words, an ideal community of scholars. And graduands, in just a few minutes, it will be my very great honour to confer your degrees upon you and welcome you as lifelong members of that community of scholars we proudly call Macquarie University. Well, now, graduands and ladies and gentlemen, it's now my great pleasure to introduce our occasional speaker, Dr. Rebecca Spindler. Rebecca completed her PhD at the University of Melbourne on marsupial reproduction and then took up a postdoc position at the Smithsonian Institute. Over 7 years, she studied felid reproduction and led 2 international programs for the conservation of giant pandas and jaguars. Rebecca returned to Australia after 10 years and worked with passionate and brilliant scientists to develop an ecosystem-focused scientific program at the Taronga Conservation Society. Rebecca is now Head of Science and Conservation at the Landscape Conservation NGO Bush Heritage Australia. She's interested in species and scape-scale conservation and is committed to maximising conservation benefit. I now invite Rebecca to deliver the occasional address. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Rebecca Spindler.
Thank you very much. I'd very much like to thank the Chancellor, the Honourable Michael Egan, for the invitation to speak today, for all the faculty here today. Many thanks to all the members of the family, staff, distinguished guests and graduates, families and friends for everything you've done to bring your chosen graduate here tonight. And the graduates, what a treat it is for me to stand here today, a day that recognises the hard work you've put in to get you on the road to, well, a whole lot more hard work, really. Treasure this moment and let it sink in that you are walking on the footsteps of many other graduates from years and decades gone by. More than that, we step on into the footprints that recall travel and adventure even before the university was here. Let your feet sink a little bit deeper into those of the Darug, who came together on this site, held feasts and meetings. Today I pay my respects to the Darug elders, past and present, and to all Indigenous people present here today. I take up the spirit of celebration and add my voice to the strains of song and laughter that have come before. More recently, perhaps even on these same seats, current scientific and business leaders of our day, the great poets, artists, and maybe a couple of politicians, may have sat where you're sitting now. Let your feet rest on these footprints as you ponder their past and your future. Today, my advice is simple and it's brief. Eating unrecognisable food delivered by someone you don't know, getting into cars with people that my school headmistress would have called undesirable, and shoving yourself out of a plane hovering over a raging river while nestled in a kayak are all exceptions to the advice I'm about to give you. Say yes to everything. I have to admit that focus hasn't always been a very strong path in my career, but I've been lucky enough to have a career that's been full of fun and led me to a raft of creative, intelligent, wonderful people around the world that bring joy to my life, fill me with wonderful ideas and raucous laughter. Somewhere along the way, I achieved a few things, and that's led me to what I think is the best job in the world as Head of Science and Conservation at Bush Heritage. But I see that some of you are a little bewildered and perhaps even perplexed as to how my advice can lead to anything other than mayhem and misery. Please let me explain with perhaps an example. Some years ago, I was minding my own business as a little lab rat in the Smithsonian labs, measuring lactate metabolism of single cells when a delegation came through from China. This was a very high-powered group, visiting labs across Australia to seek new ideas to improve giant panda reproduction, which had basically ground to a halt. We'd been hearing about the discussions for days, and I knew my boss was hoping for an invitation to go over and help. After many hours of negotiation in small rooms, our visitors were let loose into the labs. And for my part, I was happy for a bit of a break and to describe the link between what I was doing and how I hoped it would help improve endangered species, particularly cat reproduction. My boss walked back into the room to hear me say brightly, "Yes, thank you, I'd love to come to China." In retrospect, I probably should have asked him first. But we both joined 17 members of a scientific delegation organised by the IUCN that visited every giant panda facility in China. Vets, behavioural biologists, nutritionists, geneticists, reproductive biologists from China and America, and one Aussie, working hand in hand to pull all of the pieces together in the giant panda reproduction puzzle. Now, pandas only breed once a year, so it took us 3 years of travelling back to China for 6 weeks each time during the breeding season to get a good snapshot of the health and reproductive capacity of the pandas across China. Through a great deal of shared learning between each and every member of the delegation, conversations over breakfast, lunch and dinner, meeting each other's families and taking each other down sometimes crazy pathways of exploration and investigation, developing into new theories. Over 3 years, we'd mapped out a pathway for every single panda in the facilities in China, and it started to already see better health outcomes and better reproduction. With the IUCN, we planned for transformation in habitat conservation and management with the ultimate goal of reintroducing the pandas that were going to come in the next few generations and to fill the highlands of the Sichuan province where they used to live. All of this came together in the last week of my third year, the final year of the biomedical survey. By the time we were done, it was clear that we needed to keep the partnership going on a long-term basis. I was asked to stay for the remainder of that breeding season, an extra 4 months that hadn't really been scheduled with my family, particularly my husband, and to build up the giant panda population reproduction management on a long-term basis. I could have said no, of course, which is something that my husband pointed out, but he knew me well and sighed over the phone and just said, "You're staying, aren't you?" Of course I said yes. And I said yes for the next 5 years. I went back to China for 5 months every year for the next 5 years. And some of you will have seen the photos of some of the early bumper crops of giant panda cubs all over the place. Each year we did better and better. In fact, we produced so many cubs that new facilities had to be built. And the breeding program re-expanded internationally. We made sure we set up a highly rigorous financial system to make sure that the contributions coming from those international facilities, the zoos around the world, went straight back into habitat restoration and reconstruction. Collectively, we've moved steadily towards improving habitat health for all species in the landscapes, not just the giant pandas, but there has been some political opposition to the reintroduction of pandas, and so far very few have actually gone back into the wild. We continue to work on this, but I think the landscape scale conservation efforts should be applauded, and this group should really be recognised. So clearly I'm not in any way promising that by saying yes, you will succeed in everything. In fact, by definition, your rate of failure will go up. Someone who tries nothing will never fail, but how boring would life be? By saying yes, you will certainly gain experience, and by your specific combination of succeeding and failing, you'll refine your own criteria that help you make the most of future opportunities and offers. Experience will also make you more prepared to take up those opportunities that you really want when they come your way. Because to turn an offer into an opportunity, you must be both willing and qualified. So my advice, say yes to everything, requires a couple of caveats, but really I only have two. First, say yes to everything, but not necessarily forever. Just for right now, when you're fresh and young and full of energy, you will come to a moment where you cannot take all of the opportunities that come your way. At this point, I would recommend you make yourselves as ready as you possibly can to recognise the truly great opportunities. Understand what the benefits are of each of those opportunities, the probability you will actually have to achieve those benefits, and what it will cost to achieve the goals. Once you can map that out, you will be able to pluck the ripest and juiciest opportunities from everything that comes your way. Secondly, say yes to okay, not really everything. There are more exceptions than these three that I listed earlier. There are things that are just bad ideas because the risks outweigh the opportunities. By all means, stay away from them. Your gut will know them, and I would absolutely recommend wholeheartedly to trust your gut. But the world is full of people who take the safe, warm, comfortable option. We humans are preset to be very risk-averse. As a species, we grew up with lions and bears at a time when they were the rulers of us and our environments. It was genuinely better to be safe than sorry. Today, we are our own primary problem. The lions and the bears are now much more afraid of us, with good reason, and it's time to be brave. And where there are ventures out there that might help someone, including yourselves, that you are willing to take up, be willing and qualified to take that opportunity up. Run at the opportunity with open arms and an open mind. Do not miss an opportunity because it might at first look risky. All the best things are. Get into the habit of expanding your perspective, expanding your life, because that's where the great ideas and solutions come from. God knows we need them, and we need you. So congratulations today. You are recognised for completing a significant step in becoming qualified. This is a journey that will never end, and I hope today I've also encouraged you to be willing to take up the opportunities that lie ahead with Macquarie at your back and your colleagues at your side. Thank you.
Well, graduates, Rebecca's address contains some very, very good advice. There are some people in this world who, for whatever reason, are always inclined to say no, whereas others are prepared to take the plunge and prepared to take a chance. And you should be in that latter category because it will stand you in good stead. I think Rebecca deserves another great round of applause. Well, graduands, we now come to the key part of the ceremony, the reason we're here, and that's the conferring of degrees. But I did mention to you earlier that there's nothing for you to worry about. This is the one part of the ceremony that makes me just a little bit worried, because some years ago, a fellow I went to university with more than 50 years ago, and who subsequently became the Chief Justice of New South Wales, once told me that if I conferred a degree on someone who was not entitled to receive it, it was very, very, very difficult for me to take it back. So I have to make sure that all of you today are eligible to graduate. I have to make sure that none of you were ever late in submitting an assignment, and that none of you ever missed a class. And I'm going to call upon the Registrar, Gail White, to give me all of those assurances. Gail.
Chancellor, I am able to certify that all of the candidates being presented here today, and those who are absent, have satisfied the requirements of the Academic Senate for the degrees they are to be awarded. Now, would all candidates for admission to degrees please stand?
That's you, believe it or not. Yes, it's you. Graduands, in the name of the Council of Macquarie University and by my authority as Chancellor, I admit each of you present and those who are absent to the degrees for which you have qualified. Graduates, congratulations.
Please be seated. Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Science and Engineering, and I call on Professor Barbara Messerle, Executive Dean of the Faculty of Science and Engineering, to present the graduates. Professor Messerle.
Chancellor, the graduates at this ceremony are from the Faculty of Science and Engineering. This faculty teaches programs across the full breadth of the sciences and engineering. While there are many challenges facing the world, there are also endless possibilities to problem solve, think creatively, and change society for the better. From finding new ways to feed 10 billion people, to fighting cybercrime and keeping our data safe, our researchers at Macquarie University are using innovative techniques to tackle global challenges. The faculty is committed to excellence in our teaching, in our research, innovation, and also engagement in science and engineering. We conduct research that has significant impact on scientific knowledge and on the well-being and prosperity of individuals and societies. We provide an enriched student experience through scholarship and engagement to enhance employability. We have close links with industry and are building firm future partnerships, especially with companies located nearby in Macquarie Park. Australia needs more STEM graduates who have the skills to make real change and shape our collective future, so that today is an important day where we are celebrating our most recent STEM graduates. This ceremony includes graduates from the discipline of biological sciences. So, Chancellor, I present to you the graduates from the Faculty of Science and Engineering whom you have admitted to degrees. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with the degree of Bachelor of Science, Angelina Cito. Imogen Charlotte Small. Rebecca Ivy Thompson. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Advanced Science, Sarah Jane Campbell. Nicola Stephanie Cray. Casey Foster. Brittany Gilchrist, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. Brooke Lauren Jackett. Rachel Elizabeth King. Caitlin Smith. Yin Shun Tan. Laura Kate Orcutt. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Biodiversity and Conservation. Wilbur Ashley. Marilyn Philomena Bellett. Natalie Caulfield. Rihanna Desira. Tegan Marga Fuhat. Bridget Healy. Luke Jeffrey. Lee Levi. Lincoln McGregor. Vanessa Palamara. Joshua Timothy Reed. Gabriela Suarez. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Marine Science. Stephanie Francesca Bagala. Henry Beeson. Alexander Sinclair Cook. Laura Daniela Garcia Vasquez. Natasha Garner. Benjamin John Griffiths. Tristan Guillemin. Nicholas Richard Jones. Georgina Irene Callis. Mohammed Maki. Alexander Smale. Zach David Warham. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Medical Sciences, Ali Asghar Ali. Charlotte Rose Andrews. Mitchell Hugh Borton. Luke Elijah Brown. Christopher Stephen Callahan. Mariam Chendeb. Laura Coleman. James Cox. Huda Dawich. Steffi Amory Reros Diamzon. Cassandra Fernando. Chloe Hosking. Charles Jacobs. Gerlene Carr. Ruby Carty. Timothy Morgan. Alan Anthony Jr. Murray. Nikita Nandoskar. Nathan Nicholas. Sophie Elizabeth Parker. Sandra Patras. Daniel Joel Psalakis Phillips. Stephanie Marie Quattramani. Winona Ruby Riddle. Shelley Louise Roberts. Liam Timothy Rudovich. Damon Shedai. James Murray Stanya. Aretsu Tabakoli Mediabadi. Julian Uganotti. Caitlin Elena Wiley. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science. Ayman Asim Abdallah. Nicole Apostle. Reem Awad. Dehan Bararon. Jennifer Ann Cheong. Sarah Kukutsa. Joshua Lance Cunningham. Antranagder Tatiosian. Luke Eltzerman. Lisa Marie Everett. Harrison Gallagher. Christina Joy Gomez. Olivia Goodman. Annabelle Grimes. Jordan Robert Hanna. Nicholas Adrian Harrison. Caitlin Louise Highland. Daniel Johnson. Braxton Robert Jones. Jessica Lewis. James Max Listberger. Brianne Ashley Lyle. Manor Malik. Hannah Martin. Hannah McPhail. Jemima Ann Morley. Susan Nekiosup Rodriguez. Ni Nguyen. Jonathan David Ogle. Melanie May Olson. Juliette Peduto. Edward Daniel Philp. Jeremy Peter Richard Powell. Stephen Psaradakis. Shannon Ramos. Samantha Lee Rigby. Elissa Jane Rouston. Courtney Ruth. Ryan Safadi. Georgia Page Schmidt-Lehrman. William Seach. Jacob Stephen Shanahan. Bona May Solitas. Darren Chung Hoi Tang. Alice Eliza Temblett. Carly Timoshuk. Monique Van Ackoy. Elise Versace. Ashley Bridget Victor. Kirsten Walker. Shaki Jebedelikian. Nabila Morshed. Ming Yu Tung. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Biotechnology and Business. Arpan Majumdar. Monica Thackeray. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Conservation Biology, Hamsini Bijlani. Juliana Restrepo Villegas. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Wildlife Management, Penny Ann Wood, who has been awarded the Macquarie University Award for Academic Excellence. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Master of Research, Mosammat Janatul Ferdous, for a thesis entitled Search Patterns of Myrmecia midas on Different Substrates at Twilight and Day. Thomas James Hadel for a thesis entitled Proteomic Characterization of TDP43 Inclusion Pathology in Amyotrophic Lateral Sclerosis and Frontotemporal Dementia. Donald James McLean for a thesis entitled Explaining Imperfect Ant Mimicry. Nicole O'Donnell for a thesis entitled What is Relationship Between Diet, Aging and Longevity? A case study using the orb web spider. Sarah Jane Merle Reed Anderson for a thesis entitled Connectivity and Effective Population Size of East Australian Grey Nurse Sharks. Zachary Bartholomew Sheehan for a thesis entitled Differential Investment in Brain Regions of Polymorphic Diurnal and Nocturnal Myrmeciae Ants. Marichelle Jean Warhope Drum for a thesis entitled Using a Species Distribution Model to Guide New South Wales Surveys of the Long-Footed Potteroo, Potterus longipes. I present the graduate admitted to the degree of Master of Philosophy, Peterson Jacob Coates, for a thesis entitled The Antifungal Defences of Australian Acacia Thrips. I present graduates admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Humaira Akhtar, for a thesis entitled Raspberry Ketone as a Promising Pre-Release Supplement for the Sterile Insect Technique SIT of Queensland Fruit Fly, Bactritira trione, Frogget, Diptera tephrotidae. Dr. Juan Gabriel Dominguez Sarmiento for a thesis entitled The Middle and Late Holocene Environment of Sydney Harbour, New South Wales, Australia, a millennial story preserved in live and dead molluscan assemblages. Dr. Emma Fiona Gray for a thesis entitled Growth Rates and Functional Traits of Tropical Rainforest and Savanna Species. Dr. Annika Victoria Herbert for a thesis entitled Pollen-Based Quantitative Climate Reconstructions for Australia, Last Glacial Maximum to Present. Laura Leilani Hurley for a thesis entitled Sperm Production Quality and Post-Copulatory Performance in Australian Estrelid Finches. Dr. Jayawira Huwej Taksila Anuradi Jayawira for a thesis entitled Pre- and Post-Copulatory Sexual Selection in a Sexually Cannibalistic Praying Mantid. Chancellor, that completes this afternoon's presentations of graduates from the Faculty of Science and Engineering.
Chancellor, I call on Dr. Laura Hurley, who has graduated this afternoon with a Doctor of Philosophy, to speak on behalf of the graduating group. Dr. Hurley.
Good afternoon, Chancellor Egan, members of the university, fellow graduates, and guests. When I was first invited to give this speech, I wondered if those who had chosen me had actually seen what my thesis was about. Now, I've given public talks about how studying bird sperm impacts my dating life, and have addressed questions about duck penises on live national radio. But as entertaining as my research can be, today is about us marking the end of a journey. While our achievements are shared today, our journeys are as varied as the topics we studied here during our time at Macquarie. Some of you came a few kilometers away, while others of you traveled thousands. Some traveled a traditional educational path, while others lived whole other lives in and out of academia. For some of you, you are upholding a family tradition, while others are inspiring a new one. But all of us started on this road following our passion for science and learning, and it is not a journey we have made alone. Although the academic journey can at times be lonely, all of us are here because of a village of biological and chosen family that supported us on this journey. They are the people who inspired us to our interests, who challenged us to keep us going, and pushed beyond our comfort zone in an effort to move us forward, who shared in or mentored our learning, and who are here with us today, literally or in spirit, to celebrate our success. Today we celebrate and thank our village, as those are the people who are so much a part of us. They will be with us no matter where we go next, for they are with us always. For me, the journey started today about 18 years ago when I was clutching my bachelor's degree, wondering what the next challenge would be. What came next was 5 moves across the continental US and 1 around the world. All told, about 33,000 kilometers of moving, not including long drives for fieldwork and site visits to other labs. I would not have done all this without the support of my family, my dad challenging my reasons, my mother and sister encouraging me on, the tough love and encouragement of my best friend, and the cheerleading, patience, understanding, support, and love from my ever-growing village of family and friends, all of whom enjoyed great laughs and eye rolls over the years about my research from bird brains to gonads. Sorry, Mom, for not having an easier, less embarrassing area of research to explain. Although the ways to this degree, I have had a lot of success and a lot of heartbreaking failure, but never defeat. Many will comment on my tenacity for not giving up, but for me, it was my love of birds and science that kept me from throwing in the towel. Teddy Roosevelt has a great quote about this, but about going out and really trying versus living a safe life. But I prefer my undergraduate mentor, Dr. Mike Stewart's version that I've evolved over the years. Stand on the shoulders of your mentors, aim high for success so that when you fail, it will be spectacular. Then get up, move forward, and aim high again. Today, as newly minted graduates, you are celebrating success. Tomorrow, in a world that is showing doubt and mistrust in science, the next challenge is looming. The next journey is ahead. Aim high, fail spectacularly, move forward always. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Laura, not only on your Doctor of Philosophy degree, but also on your speech. I don't know why you wondered why you were chosen to speak when people saw the subject of your thesis. I assume they thought you were going to talk about sex. But of course, you talked about something more important than that, and that is the difference between failure and defeat. We all fail from time to time. That doesn't mean we should ever be defeated. The important thing is always to turn adversity into advantage. So congratulations on a great speech, congratulations on your PhD, and congratulations to your mother too, who obviously gave you good encouragement. I think she deserves another great round of applause. Well, I mean, that wasn't too bad, was it? That glorious voice, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to the glorious Angela Brewer. And we're very fortunate at Macquarie University that Angela sings at nearly all of our graduations. So you were lucky today that today was one of them that she did sing at, because when Angela can't get here, and that occasionally happens for one reason or another, I do the singing. So you're very fortunate. She deserves another great round of applause. And one of the reasons we are here at Macquarie, Australia's best university, is because Angela sings at our graduations and none of the others. So I hope that will always continue. Ladies and gentlemen, you obviously heard our great musicians too. Let me introduce Dr. James Forsyth over there, our organist. And our trumpeter, Melanie McLaughlin. And I'd also like to thank our alumni volunteers who come along to our graduation ceremonies to make sure that everything runs smoothly. I'm sure you'd like to thank them as well. And sitting behind me are representatives of our academic community who, of course, have been vital throughout your journey here at Macquarie. Thank them as well, please. Well, graduates, this ceremony marks the end of one stage in your relationship with Macquarie University, but it is certainly not the end of your association with Macquarie. From today on, for the rest of your lives, you are part of the bigger Macquarie family, which is our alumni, and part of the network of over 184,000 Macquarie alumni spanning the globe. We'll keep in touch with you through our alumni program, which is focused on lifelong learning, lifelong support, and lifelong connections. Our commitment to you is to help you keep in touch and engaged with Macquarie throughout your life. And graduates, please do make sure that you come back to Macquarie, either to undertake more study or attend alumni events, perhaps use our aquatic and fitness facilities, or even, if you like, just to take a stroll through our lovely campus or enjoy a picnic by the lake. Graduates, the award of a university degree carries many opportunities and privileges, but like all privileges, it also carries responsibilities. Believe it or not, you, each and every one of you, can change the world. And you don't have to be a Nobel Prize winner to do it either, because almost everything you do in your homes, in your workplaces, and in your communities matters and can make a huge difference. The consequences of every effort, every action, large or small, can reverberate throughout society, through the decades, indeed the centuries. Even something as simple as a kind word or a kind gesture can often be the spark that ignites a great life or a great career or a great achievement. So as Chancellor of Macquarie University, I charge you to use what you have learned not only for your own benefit, but also for the benefit of the world we live in. I charge you to use the skills and knowledge you have acquired with rigour and integrity, and to commit yourselves to a program of lifelong learning and inquiry. I charge you to recognise the worth and dignity of all people, particularly those who have not had the opportunities that you've enjoyed. I charge you to set high goals and to continue the hard work that has brought you so far. I charge you, wherever you go, go with all your heart. And in all you do, I charge you to uphold the good name of Macquarie University. Now, graduates, I hope also that you'll always remember the people who've helped you along the way, many of whom, of course, are here with you today to help you celebrate. So to acknowledge their contribution and thank them for it, I'm going to ask you now to do a couple of things. Graduates, would you now all please stand? Now I want you to put your degrees on the seats behind you so that your hands are free, and I want you to turn to face your families and your friends. And now I ask you to give them a mighty round of applause. Well, graduates, you could turn around now, but don't sit down because we'll be going in just a few moments, but I would remind you to pick up your degrees. We don't want anyone leaving one behind. Well, ladies and gentlemen, shortly I will lead the official party out through the centre aisle, and we will be followed by all of our newest graduates, and then I would invite each and every one of you to join the procession through the middle aisle, out through the campus and down to the Macquarie, where I hope you will all join us for some light refreshments. We have some lovely refreshments for the adults and even better ones for the children. We have pink lemonade, fairy floss and ice creams, and they're not just restricted to the children, but anyone up to and exceeding my age. So please join us. Well, now, graduates, oh, by the way, would everyone now please stand? And please remain standing until the last graduate is processed out. Well, graduates, I wish you the very best for the future. And in the words of the old Irish blessing, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Graduates, good luck.